Willie D Live.
Keith,
Yes, sir.
I want to ask you about the last conversation that you had with your son. When you spoke with him the last time, what stands out the most about him as a person?
Family, he loved his daughters. He was always doing stuff with his family. Either he was just getting in from doing something with his daughters, or he was on the way out the door about to do something with his daughters. He was definitely a dad at a high level, So that was the last time we spoke. He was just getting up, doing the Christmas morning, and he was about to run some errands and whatever, and pick his daughter up and do some of that present delivery stuff on Christmas. And that was the last time I spoke to him. Yes.
Yeah, and where were you when you got the news that he was shot and killed?
Here in Houston, Texas, in West Chase area. It was 7:30 in the morning. I received a phone call from his mother. And the first thing I said when I answered the phone was, "Happy New Year." And she goes, "There's nothing happy about today." And I go, "What's wrong?" And she goes, "My baby," in a crying voice. And I go, "What's wrong with your baby?" "He was shot." And I go, "Is he okay?" I go, "Is your baby okay?" She go, "No." And that's when her cousin got on the phone and said that Lil Keith was shot and killed by an off-duty ICE agent. And I found that out at 7:30 New Year's morning. Yeah.
Before that happened, we've seen a number of young black people just murdered by the police for all types of reasons, sitting in the car, reading a book at the park, sitting at home, eating ice cream, watching television, selling loosely cigarettes, whatever, walking down in the middle of the street, all kinds of stuff. And so oftentimes as a black father, I know a number of black fathers have had this conversation with themselves, and where you think, if something happened like that to my child, what would my reaction be? Did you have those conversations with yourself before?
Absolutely. Yes, I was angry. I wanted to lash out at something or somebody. Yeah, I was upset, but that's not going to solve it. It's not going to bring him back. In fact, it probably get me arrested or hurt. So I had to sit, and regroup and calm down and, decide I'm just not going to even do nothing like that. I'm just going to just go in contact some family members and see if we could put something together and go after this guy. And that's when we got in contact with Miss Lewis, and here we are today.
Yeah. And what has been the most frustrating or painful part of this process, for you and your family right now?
Just knowing this guy is still running around on the streets. They haven't arrested him. It hasn't been any cooperation with law enforcement, with the LAPD. It's just, it's frustrating because to me, it seems like they want it to go away. They're trying to sweep it under the rug. And if we don't press the line and push, then that's what's going to happen. They're going to sweep it under the rug. So it's frustrating for me and my family to witness this, to see that they acting if they don't even care, and it's the truth. They acting like they don't care. Like the guy can literally kill when he wants and nothing's going to happen. It's like amnesty has been given to those guys, so it's frustrating for me just to know this guy is out there right now, probably eating Big Macs or whatever, and my son is in a casket dead. That hurts me. That hurts my heart. My days are like really long, sleepless nights. I get maybe 3 or 4 hours of sleep per day. It hasn't even been 2 months yet, so it's like this is what I'm in store for the rest of my life, feeling this way. So I definitely need justice. At least that'll give me some kind of sense of peace and comfort, just to see this guy got arrested or slapped on the wrist or something, and just sweep it under the rug and just let this dude run free like that.
I think it's also been a little overshadowed by Renee Good's murder by ICE, because that made national news right around the time that Keith was killed. I think Keith was killed before, right?
Correct. He was killed maybe 4 days or something like before Renee, and then she got killed afterwards. And what happened when she was killed, we seen that Keith wasn't getting any press or any kind of internet rotation. So quite a bit of us jumped in on Renee's stuff they were commenting about, and she had all these posts like maybe 90,000 views and 90,000 likes and stuff, and we started telling Keith's story in the comments. And after doing that so many times for so many days, it pretty much took its own little rotation and started running, and got some press. But first, she got all the press, and he had nothing. So we had to do it ourselves, basically, to get people to understand, hey, this guy was killed before Renee, and that's where we at.
Yeah, and it's sad that we have to deal with this, because oftentimes you hear people talk about black on black crime or whatever, and myself and others are quick to point out that, well, when black people kill each other, usually somebody's going to be held accountable. If you know who the killer is going to be held accountable. But in situations like this, oftentimes when you're talking about members of law enforcement, or even if they're just a non-black person, oftentimes to get justice, black people got to take to the streets. We got to take to the internet. We got to take it to the courtroom. We got to take it to the front of these people's house, to their residence, oftentimes just to get some type of indictment. That don't mean you're going to get justice, but just to get the case, get an arrest and an indictment, it takes a damn act of Congress, and people going to the streets.